Greetings, fellow adventurers, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of Taos phonology. We hope you find it enlightening. Taos is a Tanoan language spoken by several hundred people in New Mexico, in the United States. The main description of its phonology was contributed by George L. Trager in a pre-generative structuralist framework. Earlier considerations of the phonetics-phonology were by John P. Harrington and Jaime de Angulo. Trager's first account was based on fieldwork 1935-1937, which was then substantially revised due in part to the inclusion of juncture phonemes and newly collected data in 1947 in the analysis. The description below takes as the main point of departure and notes where this differs from the analysis of Harrington's description, although from a different period, is more similar to. Certain comments from a generative perspective are noted in a comparative work. In the upcoming portion, we'll be dissecting segments to gain a comprehensive understanding of its implications. The two following sections detail phonetic information about Taos phonological segments, i.e., consonants and vowels, as well as their phonological patterning in morphophonemic alternations. Prepare yourself for an in-depth analysis of consonants in this section. Lists 27 consonants, 25 native for Taos, although in his later analysis he posited 18 consonants. The main difference with respect to consonants in the 1948 analysis is that aspirated consonants, ejectives, and labialized consonants were considered consonant sequences, respectively. Similar alternate analyses of verses have been proposed in other languages in region, e.g., unisyllable initial consonants, see uniconsonants. This difference affects his analysis of syllable structure and phonotactics. The sequences, then, contrast with sequences. Intervocally, are interpreted as syllable and sets while are split by syllable boundaries. Trager admits that this analysis may not be ideal for the labialized segments, since would be the only native three-consonant cluster that appears in syllable and sets. Other three-consonant clusters appear in Spanish loanwords. Even so, he rejects a phoneme sequence because the exclusion of loanword phonology is very bad methodology. Unlike his decomposition of other consonants, retains as a unitary segment. A final difference is the interpretation of the cluster found in loanwords. Class Wikitable Styler Text Align Center. Kulspan Rauspan, Rauspan Bilabial, Kulspan Dental, Rauspan Alveolar, Rauspan Palatal, Kulspan Velar, Rauspan Glottal Class Small, Central, Lateral, Plain, Labial, Rauspan Stop, Voiced, Unaspirated, Aspirated, ejective, Kulspan fricative, Kulspan nasal, Kulspan flap, Kulspan approximant. Words exemplifying Taos consonants are in the table below. Class Wikitable Styler Line Height, IM. Rauspan consonant, Kulspan word initial position, Kulspan word medial position, IPA, Trager, gloss, IPA, Trager, gloss. Beesna valley Ursiab he kicked. He made Kpana judge noun. Fusna fly noun Kafone act of dropping. Perna moon wapoti he didn't lose it. Mercuna grandchild Quamerna carpenter's apron. Kulspan's styler text align center, dinum jaw. Kkulna hummingbird cat and legging. Sna stomach to fo Taos pueblo. Swan will mertzm he hit it. Nalinum aspen caninum cradle. Na woman, wife Isna old man. Lulina chicken cluna wolf. Sanina man, husband merso tuna church. Closna dog chain ice. Kern livum cleaner fingernail. Yerna this kind of maternal aunt. Gasoline gasoline and why, because. Kna mother kbigna robin. Cone neck per cone fur, spruce. Xenum arm ixina lip. Kma ax warm he was stronger. Xena magpie tuxilna mint. Xwalina botox swanna fox. Warm bee, have witten chief's cane. Aona willow psiona spider. Pluma lump and a ball. Without further ado, let's move on to the topic of consonant phonetics and allophony. Voiceless stops are very slightly aspirated. Aspirated stops are strongly aspirated. The ejectives are weakly glottalized. The dental consonants are phonetically denti-alveolar. In some speakers, may have an assimilated bilabial fricative. This can also vary with a deleted stop closure. Thus, has the following three variations. This parallels a historical development where protochiar Tanoan became Taos became. Examples. Daughter glass. The fricative only occurs in Spanish loanwords in a syllable initial cluster and may be labiodental or bilabial. Fruit from fruta as. It is briefly mentioned in and ultimately excluded from the phonological description. The stops are voiced intervocalically. At the beginning of words, they only occur in loanwords as in glass tumbler from vaso and rooster from gallo, where Trager describes them as less voiced. Syllable finally, they are voiceless, have no audible release, and have a long closure duration. And there is a neutralization of the contrast between the labialized consonants and their non-labial counterparts before the labial high-back vowels, where only phonetically labialized velas occur. In this environment, Trager assumes these are non-labials which are phonetically labialized due to assimilation, e.g. is, etc. Skunk sheep and their fricative has weak frication, unlike the stronger frication found in other languages such as the closely related Picures language. Voiceless is phonetically an affricate and usually post-alveolar. Taos is somewhat more palatal than English. However, can freely vary with a more forward articulation ranging from post-alveolar to alveolar. Some speakers tend to have more forward articulations before the vowels, while ejective is before high vowels and elsewhere, although there is some amount of free variation between these realizations. Examples. He caught blue, green mouse shirt. Ye stole coyote big new ankle blue jay. Affricative tends to have a post-alveolar allophone before high vowels, especially the high front vowel. Cow bluebird. The flap is a borrowed phoneme Spanish that occurs in loanwords from New Mexican Spanish that were borrowed relatively recently, as in ranch from rancho, pear from pera, vinegar from vinegary. The lateral liquid is velarized at the end of syllables. Be strong. The labial glide is labio-velar. The glides are phonetically short high vowels no closer than Taos high vowels, which are very close as well. When they occur after nasal vowels, they are nasalized. Let's now turn our attention to consonant alternations and uncover the fascinating insights it brings to the table. The stem initial consonant in many verb stems has alternates, i.e. shows consonantal abort between two different forms in what Trager calls the basic stem and the stative stem. The basic stem is used for the preterite active verb form, while the stative stem is used for the resultative stative verb forms and deverbal nouns. Class Wicketable styler text align, center, line height, IM. Basic initial, stative initial. Example, styler text align, left, he lost it is lost. Styler text align, left, he helped him he was helped. Styler text align, left, he tied it is tied. Styler text align, left, he ate it was eaten. Styler text align, left, he did it is done. Styler text align, left, he took it has been taken. Styler text align, left, he brought it has been brought. Styler text align, left, he arrived arrival. Styler text align, left, he took it off it has been taken off. Styler text align, left, he walked walk. A different set of alternations are what Trager calls internal abort. The last consonant of the verb stem alternates between two different consonants in the basic stem form and the negative stem form. Class Wicketable styler text align, center, line height, IM. Basic consonant. Negative consonant. Example, styler text align, left, he kicked he didn't kick. Styler text align, left, he lost it he didn't lose it. Styler text align, left, he accepted he didn't accept. Styler text align, left, he sat down he didn't sit down. Styler text align, left, he ate he didn't eat. Styler text align, left, he beat he didn't beat. Now let's shift our focus to monophthongs and embark on an intellectual exploration of its various dimensions. Taos has 6 vowels with 3 contrastive vowel heights and 2 degrees of vowel backness. Class Wicketable styler text align, center. Phonemic vowels. Rauspan. Cuspan front. Cuspan back. Oral. Nasal. Oral. Nasal. Close. Mid-styler background color, light gray. Open. 5 of the vowels have an oral nasal contrast, which persists even before a nasal consonant coda, i.e. the syllables, and contrast, where Celsius equal any consonant, V equal any vowel, North equal any nasal consonant. For example, the Taos has a syllable before as well as syllable before, as in the words maternal aunt and this. Morphemes exemplifying Taos monophthongs are in the table below. Class Wicketable styler line height, IM. Vowel. IPA. Gloss styler background color, light gray, Rauspan. Vowel. IPA. Gloss. What? He met. He stopped. Who? Do plural noun suffix. Hunt verb. You styler background color, light gray, Cuspan. He made. He danced. Yes. Blow. Our focus now turns to monophthong phonetics and allophony, an important aspect of our discussion. Vowels have lowered variants in closed syllables and when unstressed. The in closed syllables is somewhat lower than the in unstressed syllables. To stand closed syllable weapon unstressed, his garment around closed syllable ladder unstressed. The vowel has phonetic inner rounding. The vowel has a variant with very narrow lip rounding before. Rain to love it was being burned. The mid-vowels may be phonetically somewhat centralized. Front is typically slightly centered in both stressed and unstressed syllables. Back ranges from back to central and is when unstressed. Although both are mid, upper mid is phonetically higher than which is phonetically lower mid. In contrast to the high back vowel, mid is unrounded. Unlike the other vowels, has no nasal counterpart. Examples. Eagles, it was squeezed. The oral mid-front vowel predominantly occurs in suffixes, while nasalized is relatively common in stems. Nasalized is phonetically lower than its oral counterpart. Act of cutting oral is phonetically front and is uncommon in syllables with primary stress. Nasalized is phonetically a central vowel. It is lower than and not as far back as. Before a coda is very similar to the centralized before syllable final, both of which are similar to the English. Examples. He won soil his friends my house. The vowel has a slightly rounded variant after labials and also before and syllable final. Before syllable final nasals and the glide. This vowel is centralized before. Nasalized is phonetically slightly rounded and higher than its oral counterpart. Examples. Pumpkin peach, long time ago he ran skirt, he didn't urinate, coffee, governor of Pueblo, he sees me cold, camp, noun, person he found. The allophonic variation of the vowels detailed above are summarized in the following chart. Class Wicketable styler text align, center. Phonetic vowels. Front. Central. Back. Close equal. Near close equal. Close mid equal. Open mid equal. Open equal. Vowel length allophony 1. The duration of vowels varies according to stress. Vowels in syllables with primary stress are relatively long and somewhat shorter in syllables with secondary stress. Unstressed syllables have short vowels. For example, the word boat is with the primary stressed syllable having a long vowel, the secondary stressed syllable having a less long vowel, and the unstressed having a short vowel. 2. The presence of a consonant coda also affects vowel length. Vowels are short in closed syllables but not as short as unstressed syllables and long in open syllables. 3. There is also an interaction between tone and vowel length. Vowels with a mid-tone are long while with a low tone are pulsate. Trager mentions further interaction but does not report the details, specifically states. All Taos vowels are long in free syllables when loud stressed and are rather short in weak stressed syllables. Medial stressed vowels are slightly shorter than loud stressed ones. Vowels with normal tone and loud or medial stress are usually monophthongal longs. Those with low tone are pulsated reduplicated whether the stress is loud or quiet, thus to by the day is and turn a day is. Vowels with medial stress and high tone are rather short. Those with loud high accent are longer. There are differences in the length of loud stressed vowels depending on the vowel of the following syllable, but it would lead into too much detail to go into them in a limited description such as the present one. The exception to the length of loud stressed vowels is when they are followed by a plain stop, especially p, t, k, when the stop is long and ambisyllabic and the vowel is quite short. In checked syllables the vowels are always short, but less so with the low tone than otherwise, and never as short as weak stressed vowels. Trager's symbols of grave accent represents either a low tone and primary stress or a low tone and secondary stress phonemically and apparently represents low tone phonetically. The beginning single quote represents aspiration. The upper vertical line represents a mid-tone and primary stress phonemically and apparently primary stress phonetically. Unmarked vowels are unstressed and phonetically mid-toned. The lower vertical line represents mid-tone and secondary stress phonemically and apparently secondary stress phonetically. The middle dot represents long vowel length. Although Trager is obviously using the symbols with different values in phonemic and phonetic representation, he does not ever explicitly state the phonetic values apparently stress and tone are represented with separate symbols. In the phonemic representations, the symbols represent a combination of tone and stress. The acute accent has two possible tone-stress combinations because Trager found these to be in complementary distribution. However, in his later analysis 1948 he finds this to be false. Brace yourselves for the next chapter, where we'll be dissecting diphthongs. In addition to these monophthongs, Taos has 5 native vowel clusters, i.e. diphthongs that can function as syllable nuclei and are approximately the same duration as the single vowels. Unlike diphthongs in several other languages, each component of the vowel cluster has an equal prominence and duration, i.e. there are no off-glides or on-glides. The cluster is rare in general. The clusters are uncommon in unstressed syllables. Additionally, the vowel cluster is found in less assimilated Spanish loanwords. Examples of the clusters are below. Class Wicketable Styler Line Height, IM. Cluster, IPA. Gloss, step relation suffix stepdaughter. Race, paternal aunt. The wind did not blow. He is gathering it. Frying pans. The phonetics of the vowel clusters vary in their length and also their quality according to stress, tone, and position syllable structure. The clusters have vowel components of equal length in stressed closed syllables, either primary or medial stress with mid-tone. However, in unstressed syllables and in low-tone syllables with either primary or medial stress, the first vowel in the cluster is more prominent. In high-tone syllables and in open syllables with primary stress and mid-tone, the second vowel is more prominent. The nasal cluster has equally prominent vowels in primary stressed mid-tone syllables, while in closed syllables and unstressed the second vowel is extremely short. The cluster always has the first element more prominent than the second vowel. For the quality differences, the vowel in cluster is raised toward. When short, the vowel in cluster is raised toward. The vowel in cluster is rounded to and is more rounded than the allophone of monophthong adjacent to labials. These allophones are summarized in the table below. Class Wicketable Styler Text Align Center. Cluster, allophone. Environment, Rauspan Styler Text Align Left, stressed and mid-tone and closed Styler Text Align Left, low tone or unstressed Styler Text Align Left, high tone or primary stress and mid-tone and open. Rauspan Styler Text Align Left, stressed and mid-tone Styler Text Align Left, low tone or unstressed Styler Text Align Left, high tone or primary stress and mid-tone and open. Rauspan Styler Text Align Left, primary stress Styler Text Align Left, closed or unstressed. Rauspan Styler Text Align left, stressed and midtone styler text align, left, low tone or unstressed styler text align, left, high tone or primary stress and midtone and open. Styler text align, left, all environments. The monophthongs can be followed by high front and high back off glides, but these are analyzed as glide consonants in a coded position. Trager notes that in these sequences the glides are not as prominent as the vowel nuclei, but that the difference is not very marked, and, in fact, describes these as diphthongs on par with Trager's vowel clusters. The following vowel plus glide sequences are reported in class Wikitable styler text align, center. Vowel nucleus, off-glide, off-glide raspan. Vowel nucleus, off-glide, off-glide. Styler background color, lycree, styler background color, lycree, styler background color, lycree. In the upcoming section, we'll be dissecting reduplicative patterning and exploring its implications in greater detail. Noun stems that end in a vowel have a suffixation reduplication process in absolute forms that attaches a glottal stop and a reduplicant consisting of a reduplicate stem final vowel to the noun stem, which is then followed by an inflectional suffix. STEM++ SUFFIX with V equal a reduplicate vowel. If the stem final vowel is an oral vowel, the reduplicate vowel is exactly the same as the stem vowel. Bracelet, bird, cake, fish, skirts, bat. However, if the stem final vowel is nasal, the nasality is not copied in the reduplicant, that is, the nasal vowel will be reduplicated as that vowel's oral counterpart. Earth duplal question youth. In stems that end in a vowel cluster, only the second vowel of the cluster is reduplicated. Corn duplal. And a nasal cluster has a reduplicate and denasalized second vowel. Bed. In the upcoming section, we'll be dissecting vowel deletion and exploring its implications in greater detail. Taos shares with other languages in the region Pueblo linguistic area an aerial feature of vowel elision at the end of words. When a word ends in a final vowel, the vowel may be deleted, resulting in a consonant final word. This is especially common with final and occasionally with final. The elision is also very common when the final is preceded by a sonorant consonant such as, etc. For example, the third-person pronoun particle, he, she, it, they, is often phonetically, with syllable reduction and a resulting closed syllable. Other examples include 100,000 and why, because. In the words, the voiced stops become phonetically voiceless, unreleased, and have long durations when word final in addition to the loss of the final vowel. Vowel elision is common in connected speech. Notes that the elision may affect stress patterns but that this requires further research. States that the deletion of final after a sonorant and the retention of is in free variation but may be related to speaking speed and syntax, although the details are still unknown. The time has come to unravel the secrets behind stress and gain a deeper understanding. Trager analyzes Taos as having 3 degrees of stress: primary, secondary, unstressed. Trager describes Taos stress in terms of loudness. However, he also notes in several places where stress has effects on vowel length and vowel quality. All words must have a single primary stress. Polysyllabic words can, in addition to the syllable with primary stress, have syllables with secondary stress, unstressed syllables, or a combination of both unstressed and secondarily stressed syllables. States that the primary and secondary stress levels are in complementary distribution in low-toned and high-toned syllables. However, his later analysis rejects this. When 2 morphemes both with a primary stress in each morpheme are concatenated together, the first primary stress in the leftmost morpheme becomes a secondary stress while the rightmost morpheme retains the primary stress. With our foundation established, it's time to explore tone and its relevance to our overarching theme. Taos has 3 tones: high symbol, acute accent mid symbol, micron low symbol, grave accent. The tonal system is however marginal. Trager describes the tones as being distinguished by pitch differences. The midtone is by the most commonly occurring tone. High tone is limited to a few stems and suffixes. The low tone is relatively common in stem syllables. The high tone is described as higher and sharper than the midtone, while the low tone is distinctly lower and drawling. Many words are distinguished solely by tonal differences, as in the following minimal pairs, which demonstrate the contrast between the midtone and the low tone in stressed syllables. Self-spacing. Passed by one socket is real. There is no tonal contrast in unstressed syllables, which have only phonetic midtones. Thus, the word plum has the unstressed syllables and which have phonetic midtones, resulting in a phonetic form of. Initially found the stress level to be predictable in syllables with high and low tones, however, finds this to be in error with the addition of newly collected data and a different theoretical outlook. See stress section above. In his final historical notes, suggests that in Proto-Taos or in Proto-Taiwan there may originally have been only a stress system and a contrast of vowel length, which later developed into the present tonal stress system and lost the vowel length contrasts. Get ready for an enlightening exploration as we dig into syllables and phonotactics and understand its role in the broader context. The simplest syllable in Taos consists of a single consonant in the onset, i.e. beginning consonant, followed by a single vowel nucleus, that is a CV syllable. An onset and nucleus are obligatory in every syllable. Complex onsets consisting of a two-consonant cluster CC are found only in loanwords borrowed from New Mexican Spanish. The nucleus can have optionally two vowels in vowel clusters V or VV. The syllable cora, i.e. the final consonant, is optional and can consist of up to two consonants C or CC. In other words, the following are possible syllable types in Taos: CV, CVV, CVC, CVVC, CVCC, and in loanwords also CCV, CCVV, CCVC, CCVVC, CCVCC, CCVVCC. This can be succinctly represented in the following, where optional segments are enclosed in parentheses. Kavavikik plus tone. Additionally, every syllable has a tone associated with it. The number of possible syllables occurring in Taos is greatly limited by a number of phonotactic constraints. A further point concerns Trager's analysis of Taos coda syllables. CC clusters occurring in codas are only possible as a result of vowel elision, which is often apocope. For example, Y has a kv syllable structure, but after the elision of the final, the resulting has a kv structure with a CC cluster in the coda of the last syllable. Get ready for a thought-provoking discussion as we delve into onsets and its impact on our understanding. A single onset can be filled by any Taos consonant except the borrowed, that is, are possible onsets. The onset and then sets word initially are only found in Spanish borrowings. In a loanword two-consonant cluster, Celsius can be filled only by voiceless stops, while k can be filled only by in the following combinations. Class Wicketable styler text align center. Cospen styler line height im. Of the onsets, can only occur as onsets and not as codas. Get ready for a captivating exploration as we unravel the layers of rhymes and their profound significance. Within the syllable rhyme, any single Taos vowel may occur in the nucleus. In complex nuclei consisting of vowel clusters, the following combinations are possible. Class Wicketable styler text align center. Vowel nucleus clusters. Cuspen final component. Styler line height im initial component. Style color dark red. Only in loanwords. The cluster was found only in a single word, frying pan, from hypothetical Spanish pour, probably from French pole. A subset of Taos consonants consisting of voiced stops and sonorants can occur in codic position. There is a restriction that high vowels cannot be followed by a homogenic glide, i.e., do not occur. Not all VC combinations are attested. The attested sequences of V plus glide are listed in the vowel diphthong section above. Additionally, may appear in coda position in loanwords. in complex to consonant coders states that the final consonant can consist of a voiced stop and be preceded by a consonant consisting of a non-liquid sonorant. However, states that the following are the only attested coder clusters. Trager does not discuss the combinatory possibilities between segments and tones, although he does for stress and tone. Now, let's shift our perspective and explore loanword phonology from a different angle. Indicates the type of phonetic phonological changes that New Mexican Spanish loanwords undergo when being adapted to the Taos language. Different degrees of nativization occur in Spanish loanwords. Earlier borrowings have greater differences, while later borrowings borrowed by speakers who are probably increasingly bilingual have much greater similarity with the Spanish forms. The chart below lists some of the correspondences. The inflected nouns in the table are in the absolute singular form with the inflectional suffix and any reduplicant separated from the initial noun stem with hyphens. Class Wicketable Styler Line Height, IM. Rauspan New Mexican Spanish phonemes. Rauspan Taos phonemes. Cuspan example. Cuspan Taos. Rauspan Spanish style font size, small. Word. Gloss initial pocket bolsa intervocalic Thursday Juves initial week Domingo Rauspan intervocalic Saturday Spodder after Taos fork Tanoan's child's godmother Commodopin Thistle Rauspan initial Rudjeda intervocalic the mother Virgin Thursday Juves bed Spring Sopanda week Domingo Canyon Can King Ray Donkey Burrow Hammer Martillo before the Jäger Friday Vioneers Monday Luns before the Jäger Stressed Garden Weta Unstressed Wednesday Mere Coles Bull Toro Pocket Bolsa. Although NM Spanish is usually borrowed as Taos, it is nativized as when it precedes the Taos glide, which is the nativization of NM Spanish in the cluster Taos. Because Taos when followed by is typically raised, I is phonetically, Taos is phonetically a closer match to NM Spanish low. Thus, NM Spanish compadre is borrowed as one's child's godfather absolute with. Taos is a better match than for NM Spanish phonetically because Taos is restricted to affixes in native Taos words. Another common process is the insertion of after in New Mexican Spanish words ending in, as native words in Taos cannot have syllables ending in. The other NM Spanish phonemes are nativized as similar phonemes in Taos. NM Spanish Taos, NM Spanish Taos, NM Spanish Taos, but see above for NM Spanish sequence. NM Spanish Taos, NM Spanish Taos, NM Spanish Taos, NM Spanish Taos, NM Spanish Taos. Later borrowing, which has been subject to less alteration, has led to the development of word initial voiced stops, syllable final, and consonants clusters. The word internal cluster is reduced to in Taos. As in NM Spanish Maestro Taos teacher, the cluster was reduced further to just as in one speaker, a reflection of the older pattern where cannot be syllable final. Your feedback helps me improve, so please take a moment to leave a comment or review.